Welcome back, everybody. It's Creative Redundancy back again. And I am the one known as CR, like it says on the screen. And I just realized I haven't been live like for the whole month. Better time than any on Halloween! TGIF! Unless you're watching this later on the replay. Shout out to the replay again if you're watching this later. So hopefully everyone's doing well here. I'm gonna give some updates on some stuff here that you will eventually see within time. And like I said, hopefully everyone's doing well out there on this TGIF Halloween morning, anyways, for me. So yeah, I know I haven't been live for a while. I was double checking. I'm like, yeah, technically I haven't been live since last month. I haven't been live all month. It's not that I didn't want to. I actually did want to go live, but I was just like, I needed some time to do some stuff around here, get some things settled down, get ready for November, December, January, February, probably March too, and hopefully get into the springtime later. But first, I gotta deal with what's coming outside really soon for me. So, yes. Just gonna check on something right here. Why I do this? Well, I wait for some people to join me here. Just want to say, quick, somebody in the chat here, so I can actually see it. There we go. So yes, hopefully everyone's doing well out there. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I know I scheduled this at least somewhat in advance. Oh, wait, 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure I didn't rush and set this. I'm pretty sure I set this up on public, anyways. Regardless, I'll keep going for a little bit here. So, like I said, hopefully everyone's doing pretty good out there for what it is. I know things are changing out there. Things are definitely changing out there. That's absolutely for sure. It's happening as I speak. All right. And I'm not just talking about the seasonal change, but there's other things, all right? And on a personal note, I'm, changing a few things around here myself. Doing what I can to be more ready as much as I can. And do what I can out there because, really, literally, what else can you do? Right? You do what you can out there, right? Even if it's on your own. Sometimes in life, it's up to us, right? Because when the chips are down, well, have to dig deep and, within you to find that strength to keep doing stuff. Whatever it is, the motivation to keep going, whatever it is, right? Could have been gardening throughout the spring, summer, and this really late fall to getting ready for the winter time for this upcoming late fall, late winter season, and keep doing these things as much as you can. I mean, even for me right now, I already got snow shovels outside already in advance. Pretty much, I put away the gardening tools, and I brought out the winter tools. Pretty much that's how it's showing up here for me. I'm just alright. I was using the shovels anyways, for not snow. Yeah, snow shovels can work. Are useful beyond just snow. I've used them for other reasons too. So, 'cause if you think about it, a shovel, a scoop, it's pretty much like I said, a scoop. So it's a container to hold something. or move things around or shuffle things around, such as snow, but you can do it with other things too. So, oh, and by the way, check this out. Ooh, look. Ooh, ooh, hi. Look, they want to say hi. Ooh, 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 ooh. I just saw this in here. I was just like, oh, I gotta randomly bring this. Of all the days, of all the streams, I'm just like, yeah, why not? Why not? Just some random stuff. Yeah. Random thumbs up and all that stuff. I just kind of like this. Maybe I should learn how to make that from scratch. So, yeah. I've been working on some stuff in the background this month a little bit more. And I'll say this now in the first 10 minutes of this stream / replay, if you're catching this on the replay, that I am planning to do. I haven't scheduled them yet, but eventually you may see them, and you may see quite a few of them, but I'm planning to do some live streams. Or wanting to, at least, for next month, for November of 2025. Just because, well, I got a little bit more time and make up for this month, this month's lack of streams. Now, I'll have to see when, the day of the week. I mean, specifically those questions, I'm like, I'm not sure if, because there's some other things I may have to attend or deal with or actually do, right? So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays out for me. But in the meantime, I'm gonna focus on this stream because we're here on this stream right now. Those other streams, well, they'll come. They'll come in time. So if any of the previous live stream topics or specific live streams you want to see come back for next month, for November, let me know. Let me know in the comment section or wherever you are. Hello, Vanessa. Don't scare me like that, Vanessa. Boo. Actually, you know what's really scary? On a real serious note, not seeing food in your house or home or apartment. That's scary. That's really scary. I mean, I like food, so yeah, that would scare me. On a real serious note. Oh, nice, Vanessa. Nice. That's cool. I've been doing a few things too, similar. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I've been working on a few things myself. Trying out something, well, that's new to me anyways, right? I was watching a video, I just decided, I'm gonna try this out. So, next thing you know, I make a prototype, and next thing you know, I'm creating something, and the next thing you know, I want to make more of it. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, well, you'll have to wait for a video on that, but I'm still trying it out. But even the prototypes I've been making have actually come in useful in use. They've been useful already. Can I get my words right? It's still morning. Maybe I should get my coffee here. Maybe I should get that coffee. Really? Wow, that's a nice deal, Vanessa. Oh my. Oh, that's nice. Hey, speaking of zippers, that reminds zipper pulls. Have you ever tried that dry the pencil trick with zippers? The graphite on the zippers as a dry lubricant or something like that. I've actually tried this out. on on like not like a seized, but like on a quote unquote or stuck zipper. But I tried it on one that's, well, not really smooth, and I tried it on it, and it did help. It did help. It did help. I actually used it, and since then I've started using it a little bit more. You know, where you just take a pencil. Like one right. Hi, Iron Fire Horse. I see you in there. Let me move some stuff around. Sorry, I think I might. Let me see. Yeah, where you take a pencil, right? You use the graphite. I don't know if you guys you girls have ever tried that, but I've tried it out. Oh yeah. That channel, yeah. I'm familiar with that channel. $500 worth. No, that's a fun try. Not try. Tying. I was about to say trying. I'm like, no, that's not tying. Nice. Yeah. I'm familiar with that channel. They do a lot of cordage related things, specifically like we obviously weaving, but you know, braiding and stuff like that. Some two-tone bracelet or specific color scheme, whatever, right? You know. So if you have time, you can try some of those out. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I got a pencil too. Yeah. I just got this one sitting right behind me. Just gonna put it back in the little cup that I have. You know, I keep pencils in, you know, pens or something like that. It almost seems like I mean, for lack of a better word, a cliche. It's just like, you know, pencil and a cup or pen in a cup. I don't know. There's something about that. Hey, I think it's because it takes up less space, because it uses up the vertical space and stuff like that. So I know you're supposedly not supposed to do it with markers or whatever, but I mean, I'm talking about pens and pencils here. So did I miss something in there? Ah, really? Ah, your mechanical pencil? Ah. Yeah, I think I could second that or agree to that on Fire Horse to a certain degree. To a certain degree. I mean, for depending what it is, right? Depending what it is and the what it needs to be doing or how it's not function. But yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes it's just like, right? Next time you see it, it's just like, it's disintegrating or whatever. I mean, there's like what's it called? Deterioration from UV light and stuff like that, and stuff like that. I've seen that before with certain little things. I mean, I won't name specifics, but I've seen it, especially if it's a softer certain type of plastic or whatever, right? Depending how thick it is and all that stuff. Well, what you say? Okay, that's cool. Oh, new shelf. Nice. Or well, eventually it will be nice. Oh, really, Iron Farmers? You got that? Wow, that's really cool. That's older than me. Just saying. I'm just being honest here. That is older than me, technically. So, what are you folks doing out there on this Friday? I know it's Halloween Day, but aside from that, obviously, there's better days of this month and next month and, December the rest of this year, too. What are you guys doing out there? Obviously, most people have, tended to their gardens and harvest what they can before, the first frost or whatever, right? And yes, technically, I'm in that same boat because I can see the frost outside. And not only that, I stomp my initials in the frost. I can actually see it. It's not that noticeable, but I can notice it. I don't know if if you would notice it on camera, but I can actually see it. I'm like, yeah, I'll just turn and stomp out a CR in one easy motion. I started to do it like that more and more, where I'm actually like, almost like cursive. Yeah, see CR in there, handwriting it. I see it on R. I was just like, oh yeah. I'm making that R, that handwritten R in there, right? It's not a little R, it's a big R. Oh, I see, Vanessa, I see. So, yes. And again, like usual. Let me see here. Like usual here, see? Battery bank. I used part of it yesterday, so even though it says, well, four bars, I was going to say full bars, it's not actually at full, but close to, anyways. And like I said, the indicator still says it right now. What? What? Well, at least you got something, Iron Fibers. At least you got something. I don't know. I may be doing something tonight. I don't know. I have to double check. I haven't been able to get a hold of someone for a little bit, so see what I'm doing tonight. Or this evening, I should say. I want it to be like, out east, it'd be like, what? 5-6 hours from now? And you're right here. Trick or treat! Or something along the lines of that. And see some random costumes outside. Start counting how many. It's like, look, it's a ghost! Oh, wait, that's not a ghost. This is a ghost. That's a ghost, right? That's a ghost. Knife eater. Ooh. I mean, Iron Fighters, next year you're gonna be like, hey, ACR, I looked down on Elm Street here. That's why it's so scary. People have nightmares walking down this street. I'm joking. It's the only time I get to say it. Of all the times I get to say it, it's the only time I get to say it, like, ever. But yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be serious or like not serious on this stream. Maybe I'll just do both. It is a live with CRI. I don't have a topic for this stream. Like literally, I decided I'm like, you know what? I'll stream this morning. Well, this morning, afternoon, you know what I mean, and get some WT in there. Especially since I haven't been live for a while. Really, Vanessa? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. You see that? Iron Firehorse is 100% serious. She's, I was trying to think of their acronym for LOL. I was laughing out loud. That actually would sound funny or make sense. But yeah, anyways. It's barely. I barely had my coffee. I'm already laughing randomly. Yep, that's great. That's a good sign of a morning. That's a good sign of a morning. Speak of a morning here. For a little bit. For a little bit of time. Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what I kind of wish I had right now? That reminds me. I wish I had a coffee crisp right now. Maybe not to specifically have right now, but for like later. I don't know. Maybe I'll randomly get one, or a safe one. I should say randomly safe one. I should say. I shouldn't say randomly, but you know what I mean. That'd be nice. Wow. So you don't get you don't get candy delivered to you instead. You don't have to go get it. That sounds like a good deal right there, Vanessa. That definitely sounds like a pretty dang good deal indeed. I know later today, even if I do decide to go later this evening, I need to actually watch something. It's a Halloween related thing. I'm like, I still gotta watch the last 2 episodes. It is Halloween related to a certain degree. To a certain degree. It's definitely not meant for kids, though. Or younger viewers. Right. Well, actually, it's animated, but yeah, it's not as gory compared to live action or something like that. But I mean, for what it is, for what it is, it's just like so something that I didn't realize it was out until I checked. I was just like, so I've watched the first 2, the pilot and the second episode, not yesterday, the day before. I was actually supposed to watch the 3rd episode yesterday, but I'll probably watch them tonight, this evening. It'll probably be part of what I do. I mean, of all things, I'm like, well, this seems like a good time to watch this. Jelly bean. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool, Iron Fires. Ooh, 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 ooh. With pretty brass grommets and a lobster claw clasp thingy. I think I can. I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does sound pretty cool. Vanessa. Can't wait till you share that publicly with us. Oh, well. Oh, so you have to make it first? You have to make it first, but wait. Once you do have it, it'll be really cool. I mean, that's another thing. Like, this other thing I've been working on, it's not, like I said, I'm still making a prototype, right? But from what I've been trying it with, I'm like, you know what? It could be useful. It could be useful. I've been, like I said, it's new. It's a new thing for me, right? Quote unquote skill or whatever, right? But I was just like, I'm just gonna give this a try. Like the technology is like hundreds of years old, like literally, like the most basic form of it or mechanical version of it is, hundreds of years old. Like what, 300-400 years old? I'm trying to remember, but I was just like, I mean, nowadays it's all like automated, machine driven type of, but in the past it was mechanically done. And you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Well, I'll just shuttle this hint in there. And just weave that that hint in. Whoa! For real, Iron Fires? That's nice. That's so cool. Now I'm curious. I want to see it now. Maybe I can be special, and Iron Fireworks will send me a picture of it. Some selfie. It's like, ooh, look, Sierra, look at my. Imagine that. It's like an excuse to make a selfie. Yeah. Well, apparently that's the name. Apparently that's the name. So now we're on the same page. You made some for the long ones and the minis too. Yeah, that's cool. That actually reminds me. Of something I don't. Where did I just? Oh, here it is. That reminds me. Which is kind of funny. Oh, okay. Alright, Iron Forest. Someone's gonna fire me for saying this, but let's just say I am getting ready for it. You see what I did there? I'm just saying. You guys were talking about someone, so figured I'd show one on screen. Anyways, yeah. Oh, so much so on fire saying all that. Oh, I will get some made for you, Iron and CR2. Oh, nice. That's so nice of Vanessa. That's so nice of Vanessa, kitty. That's why she's awesome. Not just because she creates too, but she also likes to make some for us too. Yeah. See? I was trying to make it rhyme or end right there. Like, even before I started the stream, I'm like, I came up with something. I never did say it, but I was coming up with something. Because I was just like I said, I didn't have a topic for this, so I'm winging it or saying some things or bouncing ideas off from the side chat, alright? So, yes. Well, looks like I'm gonna get a mix of sun and cloud today. Actually, you know what? It's actually, I mean, there's frost outside, but technically, this time of year, I think it is slightly above, will be slightly above seasonal today. I mean, it's gonna be above freezing today. So, like, that's a positive, right? Just saying. I mean, sometimes I've when I was younger, I'm like, at times I've seen snow on Halloween, so like a day like this is pretty nice, or will be pretty nice. I don't know, the wind's supposed to pick up a bit, I don't know, so we'll see. We'll see if the wind makes a factor, but it's supposed to be, let's say this evening, for example, it's supposed to be like maybe even 7 Celsius, maybe even 8. So like in the mid higher 40s for you guys in the US. So that's not too bad. I mean, it's not 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius, but I mean, I'll take a 7. I'll take a 7. 46 Fahrenheit. Seems better than 32 Celsius that I've seen in the past. Okay. I'm just reading real quick. Oh, yeah. I figured that much iron bars for you to use with the fan, yeah. Really? This. Well, I was gonna say something in there what Vanessa just wrote at the bottom. I was gonna say something, but I'll leave that for another live stream at night. Not this one. I could say something. I could. So yeah. Like I said, I'm just getting ready. Not only for like today, obviously, doing my thing that I do here. Amongst some other things. And like, on a serious note, like, I'm actually gonna be like, let's say, actively taking a look outside tonight. Just in case. And show a presence out there, as they say, right? Because I know it is Halloween days, all things go at times, right? And it's a Friday if you think about it too, right? So, I mean, in my younger years, Halloween on Friday, or on Saturday, right? Something about that, right? Because if you think about it, right? Bars, no one's got school tomorrow, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And, I can imagine people are gonna have a good time. Not necessarily partying, but enjoy the day and have a good time. Spend some time with friends and family and amongst some other things. Aww. What? Really? Oh, okay. I just had to read it real quick when both of you were talking about it, but yeah. So, yes. Oh, by the way, everyone. By the way, if you haven't seen the last video, unless you're watching this later on this Friday, one of the last videos, right? Yeah, remember this. Oh yeah, that's not CGI or an image. Look at me really doing this for real. Let me just pick up 2. Wait, let me pick up 3. Yeah, then 2, then 1. See? Do you see it? No, this one I have not, Vanessa. They're just dry. Just gonna double check them. I've laid them out on obviously on a pan or a tray or whatever, right? So let them dry before I store them. I gotta make sure they're full. Well, I shouldn't say fully dry, but more dry, anyways. Because, see, one of the things I did mention in the previous video, because I think I mentioned it on the previous year that I did it, is that these sunflower seeds, I decided now I am generally, I say generally, because I'll show you guys over one that I haven't done, and I am generally trying not to just lead them on like that. That's a real one, by the way. Yeah. Because I've tried this method before. I've seen people talk about this where they're like, you know, just hang it or hang it like this, or, you know, let it dry, right? But I tried it a few times before with the sunflowers, and I find that if you don't get all the most of the moisture out, especially like not specifically on the head facing side, the seed facing side, but the back side of the sunflower. See, look at that. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. And I didn't even notice that until right now. So hold on a sec, because I just touched it and I don't want to touch my screen. Hold on. I gotta wash my hands. I definitely gotta wash my hands after that. Hold on. Luckily, I have soap nearby. Roll the thing. I don't want to deal with that stuff. And you're probably like, why? Well, for one reason. Well, when I was younger, I had an allergic reaction to penicillin, and you know what that is too. So I'm just saying. But that's exactly why. That's exactly why. Like, and the funny thing is, I didn't even see that last night. I didn't even see this last night when I was checking on this. So that is exactly what I need to deal with this eventually. Not specifically right now, but in time I will. I'll probably do it today before I do anything else. Cause like I actually should have did that already. But yeah, that's actually the reasoning for it. Like, I don't know word of why I didn't plan it that way, but I'm like, as you saw, like, yeah, I'm trying to avoid that because I don't want to handle that. Even a couple days later, right? Because I've seen it before, and I'm just like, it's just, I don't know. It's just something I don't want to touch directly, anyways. Right now I got, like, petals and stuff over my table, and seeds that are randomly sticking around. So, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I'm just like, yeah, I gotta deal with that. Because I cannot stand that, because it's just, I don't know, it's just annoying. The unknown and all that stuff. I think this is why, in the video where you saw me with the sunflower, that's why I actually kind of processed it to a certain degree. Because, yeah. But that's another example why I'm gonna do it. Because it's just annoying. Because now I don't want to directly touch that part of it, right? And stuff, right? So I'll probably have to wear gloves over top just to make it so, like, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. I guess on the bright side of things, if I chopped and dropped it, well, it's already got something growing on it, technically, so it might break it down faster. In time. I'm just saying. But I don't need that starting yet. It doesn't need to start breaking down before I process it. So, yes. Hey, it's Dave! DK! How are you doing, Dave? Hopefully you're doing well, dude. Yeah. Oh, that's cool, Vanessa. But yeah, how are you doing, Dave? Good afternoon to you both. Because I know you guys lived out east, so it's past noon there. It's past noon out east, so it's still morning out west here, so in the meantime. But yeah. That's why, yeah, to avoid that kind of issue. This is exactly why I do it now. And I realized that I gotta do it for another one again. Ugh. And the thing is, I think, like I said, I think it's because that the what's it called? It could be called the pith. Anyways, that fibrous material, that spongy material within the sunflower, right? I think it it how I say it holds the water longer, which probably makes sense for the plant, right? But in terms of drying it out or preventing what you just saw, yeah, that's not so great. And the thing is, let's say today's Friday. I did that. When did I do that? Tuesday? Maybe even Monday? So 72 hours. Right? And I had it in a place that, maybe I could have put it in the sun or whatever, but I mean, like, I've had things over drying over something else, and then, like, the other side would get, yeah, and I was just like, oh, really? Right? It just becomes a hassle, so yeah. Oh, that's cool. It just started to feel like fall. Dave, I've been falling for that for like all month. 'Tis the season for it, right? But yeah, I do. I will. There will be a video out next Friday, as in next Friday, which is the 7th. Yeah, November 7th. So you can see end of the season garden type of video. That'll be for the following week, next week. This week's video, well, let's just say, how far am I in? 41 minutes in? I guess I could say some parts of it. I won't totally say it, but I have a video out for today and a shorts. Oh, a very special shorts. And the video is just a placeholder. It's actually the shorts there. Is the dominant, will probably be the dominant video, video content for today. I just needed a video out for today, for the Friday, like typical. So, but the shorts that I made, it's actually the primary content for today. Yeah, that's cool, dude. Well, maybe you'll find another one, Vanessa. How cold? How cold? How cold? How cold is it? It can't be that cold out east. You guys are still seeing above freezing, right? I'm assuming places are still seeing above freezing. I mean, I know it's the end of the month. Obviously, it's Halloween, but you know, because I think the normal daytime high here is like still, or the seasonal high is still supposed to be above freezing soon, right? And the overnight lows are, I don't know, 30 Fahrenheit, -2 Celsius, whatever, more or less. So, yeah. Uh, you're below freezing there? I mean, I saw below freezing too. I mean, like, I can almost, I don't know if I can still show the frost outside before it melts in the sun. The sun is coming out more and more. It's not clear out. There is like, I mean, it's, I don't know, variable cloudiness. I mean, it's not clear out. It's not cloudy out. I don't know. I wouldn't even call it partly cloudy. I don't know. I don't know what they, like, there's a lot of thin cloud. So I don't see that blue sky kind of thing. It's that gray color. Well, it's not a gray color, I should say, but I don't even know how to describe it because it's not like, I don't know what they call this specifically. It's 40 Fahrenheit there? Okay. Okay. So reading one. Oh. Iron Force, I seen a daytime high of +2. 34, 36 Fahrenheit. 35 Fahrenheit. So yeah. 56. I'll take a 56. I'll take a 56. That's like, wait, 14 Celsius? Plus 1 overnight? Eh, I'll take a 14. I'll take a 14. That'd be really nice. Well, for Dave and Iron Virus, know what I mean. But like, anything double digits this time of year in October, or, you know what I mean? It's pretty good. Pretty good, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Maybe it's a Canadian thing. like, like any double digit highs this time of year is pretty dang good, pretty dang warm, right? So I did see one day this month where I saw like double digits above 50 Fahrenheit, but it was like 1 or 2 days at most, and then it went back to seasonal or cooled off. Okay, okay, well, yeah. Yeah, it's close enough, whatever. Yeah, 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 of course, of course. Well, Iron Farmers, if I ever go back in if I ever go visit someone in the GTA area, I'll head north. I could just see Iron Farmers. This is like, hey, CR, yeah, let's meet me down on Young Street. Whereabouts? All right, it's a long road, right? You know. It'd be like, she'd start on that red, I'd start on that red, and it's like we just start walking towards it. It's like, I'll meet you down, like, I know one of the stores, meet you, right? Actually, to be honest, I probably would, if I did, it'd probably be in a public space to start off with and then go from there. It's just easier that way, right? Just to find a public space, whatever it is, shopping center or whatever, right? Like I said, I've been there before in the GTA, so like I'm trying to remember, but it's been very long, so I'm pretty sure a lot of things have changed. I'm pretty sure some of the stores or whatever that I remember are probably not there, or they've changed names or whatever. Just how it is. We would go camping. It'd be like we meet up in town, and it's like, okay, let's head out on the road. I could just see she'd be like, I took my car. I'll get my car. Okay. And the next thing I know is, well, I should say van, but you know what I mean. And she'd be like, I'd be like, I'm glad I know you Iron First. Why? Because I'm remembering a movie on Halloween that I saw about camp that, you know. Oh, what's that called? Wrong Turn? I think that's what it's called. It's a horror. It's a horror related movie. I think there was a second one too. Uh, Someone had to see it. Someone had to see it. Alright. Someone had to see it, right, Dave? But yeah. Well, I might as well keep going on. Get the bases loaded. Get a full count. I already have a strike one. A strike one, from what I said earlier. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Right. I swear I can relate this whole. I feel like I can relate this whole stream to like baseball. Ran away. Right. Right. But unfortunately, I gotta manually do all the work here. And I'm a one man crew, right? There's no pitch hitter for me. for this stream. I gotta make up the content. I gotta do the content as a content creator or content creation on my own, right? You know, I won't I won't be foul, but hopefully some more people join me and maybe I can hit a home run with this. I don't even know anymore. But yeah. No, actually, I didn't. Well, I think it's the last game. I think I saw like game two. Was it game one or two? One or two. So, I mean, I've seen what they can pitch. Right. So, always the words slider in there, right? Stuff like that. And the standard plays and all that stuff, as they say, right? I feel like I just got derailed. I'm like thinking about baseball now. I don't even usually watch baseball, honestly, but I mean, it's not that I don't know about it. I just you know what it is, like, time and all that stuff. Well, I guess we'll see. Just like tonight, we'll see. Because eventually it'll come closer to midnight. But first, I gotta deal with the morning first. and have some coffee. Yay! So, let me ask you folks out there, and people in the side chat can chime in too. If you're watching this on the replay, you can chime in on with a timestamp. Why I'm saying this, but are you folks more ready for this late fall, early winter? As in, November, December, January time. I know many of my viewers out there are preparing to be more ready, whatever it is. Like I said, I already got my snow shovels out. Nowhere to lie. I can actually show them. I'm just sitting outside, just leaning against the wall, just waiting. Alright? I already had them out because I had to move some leaves around, so I actually been finding that a shovel actually can kind of help. Not in terms of like making it more tidy, quote unquote, but to lift or to move more of the leaves at one time, right? Because I realized that I can get underneath and lift the leaves out, and it'll start to gather at the top of the scoop. So, and if it's on, like, let's say a solid surface like wood, a deck, blah blah blah, cement or whatever, top block, whatever, right? It's easier to make that, to do it like that, right? I mean, yeah, things like a broom or power devices like a blower can help too. But I mean, like, at times I'm just like, I just gotta move this. I just gotta move this, right? It's easier. It may be easier just to pick up a couple of scoops of it and trying to and manually walk it over to something, to like a garden space, chop and drop it, versus trying to continuously move it with a blower, right? Especially if I'm moving it to a specific spot, right? I'm not just moving it to gather it. Because I'm like with a rake or with a blower. Like this month, that's all I saw. All you could hear it. It's like you can hear the blowers echoing around, right? And you just know someone's doing it. Hey, he's here. He's here. The Swede's here. Hello, Shadow. How are you doing, my friend? Good evening to you. Because it's still morning for me! Still. Well, Sunflower's here too. Hi, Sunflower. I see you added a number in there. I see you added a number in there. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Nice to see you both. You're prepping for winter to stay warm and have a spot to do your letter work. Yeah, that's cool. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Warm. A topic. A task or a project to do for it and stuff. Ah, I'm just gonna put that on the screen. Look, he's waving. Hey, I can almost make that hand wave. And just because. Ooh, look at that. The only time I'll ever use that. You forgot to emphasize the CR in that shadow. Come on, dude. You gotta emphasize that so it stands out in my chat. I always notice those. Remember, ever since I started this channel, I started to notice it more and more. Because I see it all the time, right? Because as a content creator, I'm doing it. I have it on screen right now, too, right? I mean, I notice it more and more because I see it all the time now. Oh, it's 5:32 p.m. I feel like I missed something. A comment there. Oh, you're going back out again, Dave? Really? Yeah, that's the comment I missed. Yeah, try some stuff, whatever it is. I mean, yeah, that's cool. Yes. Anyways, am I back at the bottom yet? Yes, I'm at the bottom now. Oh, the wind's picked up. Like I said, Vanessa Kitty, the first time I experienced the cold for this 2025-2026 season, like, where it's like, our people are saying it too, right, was when it was really, really windy and barely, and I say barely above freezing, right? And it was, even though there was some sun, there was so much wind that the windshield, even though it's above freezing, the windshield, there was enough of a wind and strong enough at times, right, or consistently enough that there was some degree of windshield. So if it felt like 30 in the 30s, in the higher 30s, it probably felt like, -4 sometimes in the wind. So, I mean, even though there was some sun, it was warm in the sun. If you were tanning and sunbathing in the sun, but when you were in the shade, like, because I was out that day for a couple hours helping someone outside, we were in the shade, right, and you could feel it, and then you walk in a spot that had sun, and you just like felt like 10 degrees warmer, just because, like, yeah, I was just like, yeah, like, I actually like, it's not that far away from me, but I actually had to come back to grab something. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna need a little bit more, right? Like, I was dressed in terms of like a jacket or whatever, but I had to go back and grab some gloves because my hands were starting to get cold and stuff. Anyways, yeah. Wind and shade made a big difference. Yeah. I'm back downstairs for now. I visit Nuggy again this afternoon. Okay, yeah. So, yes. As I remember here. See, today, like I said, I'm not getting a lot of sun today. And for some reason, I thought I had more charge on that battery. Perhaps I don't. I'm not getting much solar. Well, yeah, I like how I just said that, and now I'm seeing more. It just turned up brighter in my window here. Yeah, I'm seeing more blue skies, guys. So maybe I think I'll have to see. I know the wind's supposed to pick up a bit later this afternoon, but looks like I'm getting a little bit of solar energy right now. So one thing I'm gonna do is turn some solar lights, make sure, just in case. I don't expect it, but it's Halloween. Things can happen. People can be very silly at times, right? As they say. Alright. So I've gone out enough times on Halloween to realize that things can happen, so not usually though. But you know what I mean? But I've seen it in my younger years, so yeah. Oh, that sucks, Shadow. Dang. You revealed some propane, Dave. Nice. You're still looking for that armor force? I see. Yeah, you have a variety of coats, footwear. Yeah. Well, especially the footwear, right? Because you always have direct contact. Well, I shouldn't say direct, but you always have contact with the ground. It doesn't matter if you're inside or outside, but particularly outside, right? Because the ground's conducting the heat or pulling the heat away from you. Well, I should say the heat's transferring into the ground. Yeah, the heat's going towards the ground. It's not the ground's pulling heat away from you. Although, if you think about it, it is, but the heat's actually going away from you. Right? But yeah, having suitable for the weather footwear and stuff like that. Socks, wool socks if you want, boots, whatever, insoles, something like that. Because if your feet start getting cold, you're gonna move your feet, and I've noticed when you get cold, that's all you think about is this one part that's cold, whatever it is, right? Your core might be really, really warm, right? But there's a temperature difference. Like, your core is nice and warm, but you're starting to feel frost nip on your feet or chill, where it's just like, it's not in a normal kind of state where you just got out of bed. That kind of warmth. Or got out of a shower, right? A warm shower, or you've been inside for a while, where, like, even for me right now, my feet are nice and warm, but it'd be totally different if it was outside right now for hours and hours, standing, or not even walking, but, maybe helping someone out or whatever, right? So I realized that. Even this other day, like I said about that other example that I was saying about, like, how I saw it. Well, the first time I saw the cold for this season, right? That's how it was. It was just like my feet were starting to get a little cool. I didn't have anything very special in terms of insulation for my feet, right? I was just wearing shoes, right? So even with that, I noticed that. I'm like, yeah. And when I was helping other people, right, it's just like, yeah. So my friends that I was helping out with it, we were working together on the project or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, even some of them were starting to get cold, so I'm like, yeah, see, it's not just me. It's not just me. I'm not complaining about the cold. Other people are talking about it already, right? So it's not just me, right? And stuff like that. I know at times when we were like, okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. Like, they're like, Sierra, where are you going, man? We're gonna take a break over here. I'm like, no, I'm gonna take a break in the sun. You guys can chill in the shade if you want, but I'm gonna be nice and warm. I'm gonna warm up in the sun. Oh yeah, iron farmers, yeah. Classic rock, 60, 80, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I see it. Iron farmers, yeah. Well, I mean, like if you have propane, right, you're diversifying, right? Right, so you have options. And at least, anyways. Oh, okay, Vanessa, you wear those, okay. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Ice would most likely be what breaks more bones this winter. I'm pretty sure, for what it is. I feel like I'm missing something in here. You guys type so much. Anyways, let's go back to more to the bottom again. All right, so yeah. Oh, okay. Nice, Dave. You can run the witch gator. It's just like, yeah. It's like, you know what, guys? This is just perfect. Not not too hot, not too cold, just right. Right? When it's like hearing that Goldilocks song. Let's see. Yeah, that'd be nice, Vanessa. That'd be nice. That'd definitely be nice. I know one thing I'm doing right now. I'm gonna let some of this solar sunshine, solar energy, thermal energy enter in and warm up my interior a little bit more. Not just for the light itself, but for the walls, the structure, the things I have inside to absorb that solar energy to a certain degree. Because I've actually been thinking about this more and more now. I mean, yeah, you guys were talking about these active sources of heating aside from ice, right? I mean, propane, electric heater, right? But one thing is like, it's part of the equation, right? Like you can have the biggest heater, the biggest fireplace, blah blah blah, a nice hearth, if you think about it, in your place, whatever it is, right? Or an electric equivalent version of it in a van or whatever, right? But you gotta use fuel, electricity, whatever, right? And that's very finite, right, for what it is. You can only have so much, right? Yeah, it might last for, 72 hours, blah, 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 whatever, on a full tank or whatever, but one thing I've been considering, especially more and more, like, and it's not just because I live here in Canada, but, the cold in the winter is relentless, right? It's ongoing, all right? If it's below freezing, or really cold or extremely cold, it lingers around for a while, right? Where basically I won't see above freezing for like, not just weeks, but for months, right? And I've been thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? What happens if I tried to be more efficient with it? Hear me out. Because because I've been watching these documentaries and these other things about medieval times, right? Where you would have like a single room, a family, a hearth, the center fire in the center, right? And yeah, it would radiate out, right? But you know what what else they did? Their homes, they were insulated. Right? It's just like why we put on clothes, right, in the winter, or I should say winter clothes and jackets in the winter, because it's cold, right? This is before the age of, oh hey, I can get a heated vest, I can get a USB powered socks, I can get heated socks, I can get heated gloves, hot hand warmers and stuff like that, right? Because I've been thinking more and more in terms of like, if you are, sorry, I'm not looking at chat right now, so bearing that in mind while you type. But like, if you have solid shelter, components cover components, right? To cover you or whatever, right? Even the building or whatever, right? The heat that you can generate, even let's just say it's, let's say for an arbitrary number, 100 BTUs of whatever, right? I'm just saying in terms of heat, right? Now imagine that working more efficiently for you because your structure, home, whatever, is more insulated for what it is. So that heat that you can generate, because you can only generate so much heat energy, right? You know, so like because you might have to ration the fuel, whatever, right, for certain situations. So making it more efficient in terms of like holding the heat in, right? Because if you think about your core, you're holding that heat in, you're holding that heat in, so it escapes slower, so you stay warm longer. So, so yeah, basically, I've been thinking about this more and more in terms of, and this is what I said about when the sunshine come in, I let my walls heat warm up a bit with some solar energy. Seriously, that's all. That's like I like how that's like the first thing I see. I come back and look at the chat. It is like that's all. That's the first thing I see here. That's the first thing I see here is like Iron Firehorse's comment. What's up, Nick? I see you in there, man. Welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, like look at it. Dave's getting 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius in the greenhouse right now with sun, obviously, right? So, and that's passive, right? Yes, you can actively add in something like what would Howie say from food forest permaculture, right? Put a rocket stove in or something like that, you know. But yeah, because I've been thinking, I'm like certain little things like that more and more. I mean, especially with certain little things that are going on at times, right? I mean, I remember a long time ago. This is back a while ago before I started the channel, right? One of my friends, I went to go visit them. Their furnace was not working, and it was 0 Fahrenheit, minus 17 Celsius outside. All right, they had power. And I walk in, I'm just like, why are you guys all wearing jackets? Because I still have my jacket on. So I didn't notice at first, right? The temperature difference. I'm like, oh, it's not that warm in here, right? Then I'm like, why are you guys wearing jackets? Like, they're like, the furnace ain't working. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, that explains why you guys are all wearing jackets and huddled underneath blankets. All that stuff, right? Like, there was power. For some reason, the furnace wasn't working. I don't know why. I'm trying to remember, but there was power, right? So, like, you know, the first thing I came up with right away was like, well, you still have options, right? Because they would they had like plastic bottles and pop bottles, right? 2 liters, right? Half a gallon, right? So basically, I did the old school trick of like, I'm like, well, you got power, you got a stove, you got access to water, and you got a bottle with a lid. We'll make a thermal heater with water, right? Transfer that heat from the stove into a pond, and transfer that heat into the water and store that thermal energy, right? Just to kind of warm up, like, and even they even had it underneath their blankets afterwards. I was just like, and it warmed them up, right? It became, you're not feeling that frostbite creeping up as fast, right? Because you're starting to warm up the space. And because now, I should say this as a disclaimer, you're going to be very careful with that because it's hot and you don't want to spill it. Trust me. So, you know, it just has to be hot. It does not necessarily need to be boiling, but hot, all right? Where you have that thermal energy. But I was just like, and help them out, all right? For example, just to cut the edge off, right? I didn't really ask them about that afterwards because I only saw them that one afternoon, but yeah. Let's see. I know you guys are saying something here. I see you guys are saying a lot here. So let's see. you're investing in really good mints or wool inserts, then what you kind of. Well, I mean, like I said, something that's passive, like passive cooling, passive heating, passive insulation, blah blah blah, and all that stuff, it will continuously do it on its own, right? You don't actually, quote unquote, have to put a lot of effort into it, right, or a lot of energy into it, right? Because it's doing it automatically or passively, right? Versus an active source, like an active heating source or an active cooling source. Now you're not gonna get that cooling or heating aspect of it right away, right? Like if your hands like if you have your hands really cold or whatever, yeah, that heat's gonna radiate to you faster, right? Because it's an active source. It's actively pushing out heat, radiant heat to you, right? Versus insulation, for example, passive sources where it takes a little bit longer, right? So if you think about, it's like almost like a quick versus slow energy boost, right? It could be a slow energy boost that's long lasting but slow, but it starts to add up versus something that's fast, but it'll what's the word? Not descend. It'll go down in time, right? So if you think about it like that, so it's like a gradual arch compared to like a very steep mountain that has a very high peak and you can get there fast, or you know what I mean. But it drops off or falls off fast too, right? You know what I mean? Now, if you have both, imagine you have hand warmers and something like wool with insulation backing that up. Wow, you know what that means? You have the best of both. Now you have an instant source of heat, and that heat is getting trapped through that insulation like wool or liner, right? Or I shouldn't say trapped, but it's heavily. It reduces the rate that the heat's escaping from it, right? So physically, you feel warmer. Now, if it's a hand warmer or whatever that you can control temperature, you can have it on low and still be fairly decently warm, and you don't have to crank it up to high, for example, right? So if you think about it like that, it's longer lasting for the same amount of heat that you may generate that it's generating because you're holding it, you're retaining it more, right? It's not just escaping, or as I say, I'm not heating up the outside. Close the door, right? Like that's what I say to people, right? In the winter, I'm like, because I'm talking to people or whatever. I'm like, oh, come on, close the door, or I'll shut the door behind me, or whatever, right? Because you're like, I'm not trying to heat up the outside in the winter. I'm trying to keep that heat inside, or in this case, like in my hand or in my core, next to my core, or whatever, right? So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Yeah. Well, blankets, yeah, the liner. Like I posted this other I posted this other thing on the community board post, right? I know some of you might have saw it, right? Where I was talking to my water space blankets and stuff, right? I mean, one of my other followers, they were saying that, yeah, they got some of the, emergency Mylar space blankets, right? Reflective blankets, whatever you want to call it. But they also have blankets too, right? I was just like, yeah. I mean, don't quote me on it, but it was just like, I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, good. You have diverse options, for example. And those can be layered in together in a certain way to maximize the effectiveness, right? So even if you're generating a little bit of heat, you're making that little bit of heat go a long way, right? Because you're holding it back in terms of from escaping into like the air, right? Or the surroundings, the ground, whatever, right? You know. So, ceiling, walls, and something under you, right? Or as they say when you go camping, with sleeping outside or whatever, you want to have something sleep under you, something under you, over you, and around you. All right, so you have trapped that dead air space, small dead air spaces, right? so that air doesn't circulate around in terms of convection, right? And then you start to lose that heat that you've generated or burnt or are consuming at the moment, right? You know, like like this is why like these heat sources, right? Like it's like the example like I said earlier, where about the hot water bottle, 2 liter bottle, blah blah blah, hot water, and use a blanket. Well, that temperature starts to rise within that small space, like that 100 degree, well, probably slightly under 100 degrees Celsius to 212 Fahrenheit, right? That starts to warm up that space and equals it out or brings up that ambient temperature within it. And of course, you're in that space underneath the blanket, so you're radiating out heat too, right? And next thing you know, the blanket is holding more of the heat back, and you feel warmer. You know, you don't feel that chill. You don't feel that frost nip as fast. For example, I feel like I'm way behind the chat because I'm talking. Oh, OD green blankets. Oh, okay. Are you getting chains on your tires? Iron farmers? Okay. Okay, Vanessa. You're not making inserts for your windows? I just go to the refrigerator box to make them. Oh, okay. Okay. Hey, that would help. From some of the videos I've been watching, and of course, windows are very vulnerable for heat transfer, or for temperature transfer, right? I mean, it's nice when the sun's shining through them or whatever in the winter, right? But like, even double, triple pane, you know, they got that what's that gas? I'm trying to remember which gas they use in between the layers, right? Uh, I'm trying to remember. What, argon? Was it argon? I'm trying to remember. It's an inert type of gas that doesn't transfer heat that effectively, right? But basically, that's an air gap, right? Something like that. Or if you ever seen a furnace or whatever, right? Well, some of these furnaces, they have a reflective coating on one side, vacuum chamber, right? No air means heat only transfers. Heat can't transfer for convection for the air because there's no air because it's a vacuum, and there's no conduction because there's nothing in there in between to conduct the heat, right? So the only way the heat leaves the system is radiating out or through the lid mostly, right? That lid that's at the top. Like I remember when I was my science teacher used to say like, yeah, if you have a good furnace, like because we were learning about heat and like how that all works, and he was saying like, yeah, if you have a good furnace with a vacuum chamber, it has that shininess on the inside to reflect the radiant heat back inward, and a good insulated, maybe even cork at the top, like, you know what I mean, that won't transfer the heat as fast, right? You can have a sip of your coffee that you just poured in, and even hours later come back for another sip, it's still piping hot, right? You know, and obviously as you drink it cools off because, you know, because you're drinking all the hot stuff. Oh, speak of furnace. Yep. It's not piping hot, but it's still pretty hot. It's not piping hot, but it's still steaming hot. It tastes good too. Yeah, I mean, Vanessa, it helps too, Ray. uh, let's see, where am I? Yeah. Yeah. I imagine that. Well, yeah, thick closed cell foam padding and a screen insert. I mean, like foam specifically foam, right? Because it traps air, Right. No. Oh, by the way, I'll show this. I have to. So if you haven't seen this, well, you're seeing it again, and it's really easy to make. And yes, I have used this in the winter. You're probably like, wait, sorry. See? My DIY ceiling pad that has reflective material on one side, right? That I made from like scraps and glitter. Okay, Nick. Okay, Nick. But yeah, this is something I have, right? It's not even like it's not even that thick. It's probably as thick as a battery at most. You know, I got one nearby. Yeah, yeah. It's actually thinner than the battery slightly. You know, but something like that. I can sit on a cold surface with this. I've tried this several times, you know, against more conductive. I think that's the word. Material. Like, I'm talking about snow, ice. I haven't tried it on water because I wouldn't float. But you know, I've tried it on a metal. I've had friends, and I've tried this too on a metal surface, on a metal bench. I've had my friends use because I brought them along with me, right, for my friends to sit on in the winter time because we were sitting on a metal bench, all right, or even a wooden. Well, no, I'm pretty sure it was a metal one, right? I'm like, yeah, here you guys go, because it was like, I'm trying to remember the temperature. It was below freezing. I know that because there's snow on the ground. I don't know. It was definitely less than 20 Fahrenheit, minus 10 Celsius. So, like, because if you sat on a bench in the winter without any insulation underneath you, you know what's gonna happen? Well, you know what's gonna happen, right? So this is why I have these things, and they're very useful. And I like it because it remind me what Vanessa Kitty just wrote about the clothes fold, right? This is pretty much very similar. Well, hopefully Vanessa, but this is why, like I said, even earlier, and I'll say it again, if I haven't said it, those active heating sources that we have, right? It doesn't matter if it's driven by solar, you know, some green energy or whatever, you're burning something or whatever, fire, you know, or electrical hand warmer or whatever, right? There's either moving parts or there's fuel to be used, right? Like in terms of the sun, well, it could cloud over, right? In terms of fuel, you can run out of fuel. In terms of electric hand warmer, well, if you can't recharge it, well, yeah, right? So hence these passive heating sources or passive ways to retain the heat are very useful in conjunction with that, right? Because like it just makes it so like any heat that you do generate is you're maximizing the effectiveness of it, right? To not warm up the surrounding environment around you or the ground, but to warm you up because that's why you want it, right? To keep your quote unquote tent warm, home warm, your pets warm, your cat, your dog, whatever, right? You know? And stuff like that. Because I've been looking at some of these videos lately about that stuff. I'm like, you know what? I gotta bring it back. Gotta bring that more back, right? I mean, I've updated these windows here that I got here, right? It's much better now compared to these old ass windows I had before. That actually came with the place, right? But these are newer, more modern windows, right? That actually have some that are air gap, right? Because you know they're double, triple pane, whatever, right? Because in certain areas in the world, like it's mandatory because it's extremely cold. What's that place called? Yuzaka. I don't know. You can look this up. Like the coldest places here in the world in winter, where the temperature is like really cold. like really cold, right? And they gotta do things in a certain way, right? Insulation is high, right? There's like feet of insulation. That's how much they have, right? Because they need the passive sources of to insulation, right? Because it doesn't matter if you generate that much heat, whatever amount of heat, right? If you can't hold it in the building, if it's just leaking, you're just wasting fuel. It'll never you'll never get above like 40 Fahrenheit, 4 Celsius, right? Oh, there's some more insulation or whatever, right? You're holding back the heat. Oh, it's nice, comfortable 21 Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit, right? Or at least more comfortable, right? Welcome back. Yeah, Vanessa. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, frostbite sucks. It really does. It really bites, and that's the falling out state. That's the painful part of it, right? That's the painful part of it. This is why I'm very cautious on how I do Wilson. Like even the seating pad right here. There's one benefit that I didn't really explain in the video that I was showing it in this other video where I was making it, is that this insulation, if I do it in a certain way, right? Like right now, right? I can actually, because it's insulation, it will hold back some degree of heat for what it is, right? I've actually done this where if I sit on it or have it on me for a bit, right? If let's say my fingertips cold because I'm doing something or whatever, right? I can actually stand up from this seating pad, and the seating pad, the reflective side that I'm sitting on, until I stand up for more than, let's say, 10 seconds, that heat is in that structure. Because the little tiny bubbles of air are holding a little bit more of the heat. And it's thick enough that it won't just conduct through the ground. Now, obviously, once I sit up, like, the heat's gonna escape from the top, right? So basically, I can put my finger that's cold, or whatever. I've done this with my hand. I put my hand back on it, and my hand's warming up because it's still retaining or holding back some of that radiant heat that I was using when I was sitting on it. Like, think about it like this. If you ever had, like, you sit down where someone has just sat down, the seat still feels warm, right? Think about it like that. In that same way, but I'm doing this with my own body heat and, quote unquote, in a portable form, right? Because I've shown people this before this. I can explain it, but I can't. I can't show you guys because you actually have to feel this. And I don't have like some random laser thermometer. But take my word for it. But it's that same principle or that same thing when you sit down in a place that someone just sat down. The seat feels warm, right? you know what I mean? Because the seat, the couch, whatever, is holding that heat that was generated before you sat down. If that makes any sense. Wait, Vanessa. Welcome back. Iron Fire Horse, yeah. And I gotta remember I could check my voice here. And what time is it? Alright. I'll probably go to the top of the hour. At least to the bottom of the hour, but maybe to the top of the hour. We'll see. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? They have to, or else it will freeze, right? And it takes like a long like they have like these like heated covers that they use, right? That they would have to warm up back at the vehicle, put fresh fuel in, all that stuff, running all that stuff, just to get it back on the road, right? I mean, it is what it is, right? For what they are, right? I bet you a place like that would love geothermal energy. Or heating, right? A place like that would probably really like that, but probably not, right? Because it's in the middle of the landmass, so yeah. But yeah, you know, that's why I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm not complaining about the cold. Just like out or the heater or anything like that. I'm like, yeah, some places are hotter, some places are colder. Someone out there is even colder, or someone's even hotter, or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, this ain't so bad. I'll tough it out, right? Tough it out. So yeah. See, even right now, I can sit on I'm sitting on this seating pad. Like, it's just to warm up. I mean, I've even tried this out where I've actually left the seating pad this outside in the winter and used it. Like, literally, it's like within a couple minutes, it's warming back up. It's warming back up again, right? I'm gonna try this again this year on a more cold day and for a longer period of time, just to see. Because I only tried this overnight, right? I mean, yeah, you have to physically warm up the surface, right? Because it's basically as the same temperature as the ambient temperature, right? So, but like even right now, just sitting on this for however long, I feel a little bit warm on the bottom, right? Because my heat, so keep that in mind. Well, you're lucky there, Nick. I need my 4 seasons, Nick. Oh wait, there was no exclamation mark, but yes. No, I've used it several times now. Like, it's actually one of those things now. I'm just like, I really do like this. It's very useful. It's very useful. You know, artificial, man-made insulation of such, right? It always makes me wonder if I can make a natural version of this. I don't know. Maybe I could. Maybe I could in time. Maybe I could. Maybe some wool or something like that. Someone knitted or something like that. Maybe. In terms of heat reflectiveness, well, I mean, Mylar is basically aluminum with plastic. Well, aluminum coated plastic, right? I mean, technically I could take aluminum foil, sandwich it in between layers of wool, right? I mean, you'll get some insulation and some heat reflectiveness properties of it, right? I don't know. I would have to try it out to see for myself. I know people have done it in the past. I know they must have. Foil, aluminum foil, or aluminium, right? I mean, the metal has existed for a while, but like it's more cost effective now, right? Because in the past, it actually used to be more expensive, right? Until they refined the process down, right? But I can imagine in the past, it was like, I don't know, a sheet, a plate of brass, copper. Although silver reflects like, yeah, reflects better than like a gold color, right? Because I've tried this before with like using for solar ignition, right? I'm like, yeah. I think I did show it in the video, right? This brass parabolic. Well, it was actually the bottom of a lamp, right? It took a little bit longer. It wasn't quite as hot as for the same size if it was silver in color, right? Aluminum color, you know what I mean. So you can layer up in winter only get so naked in summer, you know. Yeah. Okay. Iron Fire Horse. That's like the she's like, yeah, I gotta say it like that. I gotta say it like that. I'm not gonna can see her to laugh. But yeah, exactly right. Like I don't know about anyone else out there at times, right? But for anyone out there that's ever had to wait in a line outside in the winter, you know what I mean. right? I've experienced this. Was it last year? I think it was last year because I had to do something, but for something. But I was just like, I brought stuff because I knew I was waiting, right? And stuff like that, but stuff like that helps, right? I was like, I even had the steam pad with me, right? So while other people were standing around, I could just sit down and I'm just sitting on down on the snow, right? And people are looking at me and just like, hey, aren't you cold, man? Sitting on the ground? Because what they can't see is that I have the seating pad underneath. I'm like, oh, no, no, don't worry. I have the seating pad underneath, right? I lift it up, right? I might, like, right before I get up, right? I might take off your glove, right? They're like, why? I'm going to show you something, right? So I stand up. I point the reflective side that I was sitting on towards their hand. And I'm like, yeah, you feel that warmth? They're like, yeah, 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 for what it is, right? You know, it fades, right? But that's what's helping me keep my butt warm while I'm sitting here, right? And I've used this before several times now. Like, I'm actually glad that I kind of had started to do it more and more, right? Because it not only doesn't make sense, but I can use it for other things. I can use it for other reasons, right? You know, and stuff like that. And relatively speaking, I can actually, you know, in the wintertime, I probably could EDC it, everyday carry it. I probably would. Actually, but I probably would, right? Because it's just, no one's gonna look at it any different, right? They'd be like, what's this here? What's this, right? You'd be like, it looks like foam and some reflective material or whatever, right? But I see it as warmth, or it's something to hold back the heat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Iron Force is the same reason why humidity in the heat in the summer, right, makes it feel hotter, right? Because there's more heat, and water can conduct heat away faster than the ambient temperature, right? Hence, you try to not sweat in the winter, not get wet, not, you know, not get your hands soaked, not fall in water, and all that stuff, right? You know? Yeah. It depends where you are, right? You know. You know, there's that feel like temperature, the windshield, then there's the humidity that's in the air, relatively speaking, and the actual air temperature, right? Although generally, extreme cold is usually less humid because cold air can't hold moisture as much compared to warmer air, right? I mean, hurricanes don't develop when it's cold, right? They develop because of heat, right? Humidity. And it drives the winds and stuff like that. Sorry. I choked on the sunflower. I'm choking on the sunflower. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm good, guys. I'm good. But yeah. That's why I always keep that in mind. Right? So something like wool, for example, would be a good source of insulation because it's still relatively warm even if it's more wet than dry. Obviously, anything dry will still always be better, right? Water will always pull heat away. Even wool to a certain degree, right? They say 80%. I don't even know. Is there like a test that or whatever that's based on, right? Like, because like, yeah. Anyways, so you want to keep dry and all that stuff, the layers and all that stuff, right? You can always take off layers from it, but you can't put more on if you don't got them, right? I remember going out this one time. When was it? Was it last year? It could have been the year before, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was the 2023, 2024 winter season, but and went out for a walk. It's like, I know, it's definitely below freezing. This was like in December, late November, right? I went out for a walk. I was clean because I'm going for a walk. Yeah, I'm wearing stuff, right? But I saw this guy wearing like shoes and shorts and almost like a not a gown, but like a robe or something along the lines of that. I think they must have been picking up something really quick, doing this really, really quick, right? Like I don't know how far they had to drive, whatever, right? You know, if it's just down the street, that's one thing, right? But if you're going longer than it takes, where it takes longer than 20 minutes to walk, right? I was just thinking to myself, just hypothetically to myself, like I never say it to the person, right? I'm like, you know, if they have issues with their heater in their vehicle or whatever, right, or they cannot keep the vehicle running in terms of moving forward, it might kind of suck if you have to walk back like that in those type of temperatures. Yeah, you probably make it, right? If you know, because you can run it or whatever, but to generate heat or walk faster, if you're sweating or whatever, right? But even when you come back inside, you'd be like probably putting on clothes or warming back up or something like that. Iron fires. Don't say anything. Yeah, yeah. So that's why you gotta plan. You know, you would plan around that too for your own area, right? If it feels wetter, humidity is higher, right, compared to drier, right? You know, for example, like I remember when this one time I was in Toronto. Well, actually, it was the time I was in Toronto because it was during the summertime, right? It was plus 37. It was 16 Celsius by 9 a.m. 16 Fahrenheit, right? I think that temperature for that day was 90 plus Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius plus, but there was more humidity in the air, right? So it felt hotter than usual, right? But, you know, I basically I'm like walking down Young Street on like one side. It's like, because I was other people with other people were like, why are you going to the other side and coming back all the time? I'm like, because I'm trying to stay in the shade, right? You know what I mean? Why would I want to stand in the sun the whole time in the heat in the summer if I don't have to, right? You know, and for the same reason why I would want to stand in the sun in the wintertime, right? To absorb that thermal energy, right? You know what I mean? I'm trying to either keep cool or stay warm, right? Like I remember, you know, certain areas at times, right, where I'm walking or whatever. It's like in the winter, right? So it's cold, below freezing, right? Where it's sunny outside. Like, have you ever seen buildings, especially with glass on them, right? Like, especially if you can't go in the building or whatever, right? What I've seen before is that if it's in the sun, let's just I should say if you're in between the building and the sun, and the sun's hitting you, but the sun's reflecting off the building in terms of that glass, right? You can actually feel much warmer. Like I actually did try this out this one time. I'm standing in this one spot. I'm like, yeah, it actually does feel a little bit warmer, right? Because I'm getting solar energy coming in, and I get that heat reflectiveness from the surface, right? Similar to like, you know, a Mylar space blanket used with like a super shelter with, you know, the whole reflect that radiant heat, or the reflective surface off of furnace, right? Or the reflective surface off of my seating pad here, for example. Or even to a certain degree, like, you know, that heat reflective qualities of like a jacket or whatever, right? Stuff like that. Because it's warm, it was starting to, my insulation jacket was warming up, right? I just did there, because I had to wait for someone for like 10 minutes, right? I was like, they were like, CR, why are you standing right there? I'm like, because the sun's right here. and I had to wait for you, and and whatever, right? And I don't want to go in the building or whatever. I'm just like, yeah, okay, right. I was wearing darker clothing, right? So I'm like, I was starting to warm up actually for what it is, right? For what it is. Yeah. Well, yeah. Iron Fire Horse, Nick. There was this one time. I gotta remember the distance. It's not that far, right? Where the outside temperature was minus. I gotta remember. It's actually that same year of both Texas freeze and the heat dome here in Canada, because that was 2021. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure that was that same year. But anyways, the story is that I walked over to a friend's place to watch Super Bowl. That's actually why, right? But it was minus 37, 35, high winds for what it is. So the windshield factor is really high, right? Right. I walked that distance. It was a little bit more than 3 blocks from Iron Fire Force, right? But like literally, I'm just like, okay, well, I gotta go do this, right? I'm not gonna be silly. I'm gonna pull out all the stops, bring certain things, right? Like there's, I didn't bring my or wear my warmest jacket, right? Because I actually was trying something out, right? I was trying something out with layering, right? Just a common jacket that wasn't that insulated, right? But oh, I boosted it up in terms of the effectiveness of it by wool, right? I technically used the space blanket. I'm trying to remember it because it's a long time ago, and I didn't record it. But like, I walked in right into my friend's place. They're like, you walked over, you know. We could have picked you up, man. I'm like, no, 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 no. I was trying something this out. Right? They're just seeing me like take up layer after layer after layer after layer of clothing. Right? They're like, well, singer, yeah, I can see you. I can see why you're running so much, cause you had to walk in the cold. I'm like, yeah, right. Where it's like, I don't know, let's say 20-30 minute walk, but in those temperatures, it feels like eternity, right? Almost right. Like they're like, oh, come on, I gotta keep going. I'm almost there, right? I'm almost to the warm checkpoint, right? And stuff like that, right? But that's why, and this is before I even had the seating pad, right? And before I had this air jacket that I can wear that's like more insulated, right? And I was just like, wow, if I'm wearing the layers, like I'm trying to remember I had one, two, three, four. I had 5 layers on, right? But at those temperatures, that's why I do it at those temperatures, right? Like usually it's like below freezing, but or whatever, somewhere. Let's say between minus 17 Celsius, 0 Fahrenheit to, well, for the freezing point, right? 52 0 Celsius, right? Yeah, 2 3 layers, right? Below minus 20, I'll start to below minus 20. I may add a fourth one in, right? But as the temperature drops more and more, I'm adding another layer on, right? That's another layer of protection, another layer to hold back the heat, another layer to reflect the heat back to more towards me, or to deflect, or to block the wind, right? Or to block the moisture hitting me, right? Because it was windy. I mean, like, it wasn't technically snowing, but there was some quote unquote snow blowing in the wind, right? But it was mostly the windshield that was a big concern, and obviously the actual air temperature itself. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, that was pretty cold, right? For what it is, right? For what it is. And to think I actually walked there and walked back, but uh, it's like I said, it's because I know better, right? I know better, right? I know better. If something happened while I was in this walk, like, I probably could have went back home or to their place or whatever, or make a call, right? But in the meantime, right, I gotta wait, right? Like a tow service or anything like that, right? Yeah, you might have like, you know, it covered like one free pickup or whatever, or drop up some gas or whatever, right? Well, if you're really far or out of the way or they're really busy, you don't have to wait, right? So you're on your own for a brief period of time, however long, an hour or two, whatever, right? Where, okay, if you called or whatever, okay, yeah, we can get there. Where are you? But we're here. I'm here. Okay, well, we're really busy right now. It might take up to an hour or two to get there, right? And when you hear that, don't think, oh, great. Think, oh, thank goodness I brought all this extra stuff, like proper clothing, right, or whatever, right? Maybe a passive, an active heat source, right? Okay, yeah. It just becomes a slight inconvenience, right? You know what I mean? Because you're not within that time, right? Time period. Because an hour or two in the cold, you start noticing it, right? Compared to like just being outside for a few minutes, 5 minutes, even 10 minutes, right? Because the longer you've been in the cold for, and the longer you've been cold, the longer it takes to warm back up, right? Because your core body temperature has dropped out, right? That whole saying that they say, "I'm cold to the bone." Well, there's a certain reason why. There's a certain reason why they say it like that, because it almost feels like that, right? Where it takes longer to warm back up, especially the colder you've been, right? Like, I remember when I did this ice challenge with ice cold water, right? In the winter, by the way, right? Where I submerged my hands in it for like 2 minutes in like well below freezing temperatures, right? And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Even though I had an active heat source that I was trying out, because you could see it in that video, when I came back inside afterwards, it took me another hour being in room temperature to get my hands back into a normal state, like how I feel right now in terms of like dexterity, being able to manipulate stuff or draw, right, whatever, right, type or whatever, right? Because my hand was that cold and that was just 2 minutes. And the thing is, I was actually outside for longer than just 2 minutes too, right? So like, basically, it was to simulate accelerated heat loss, right? And I'm like, wow, that was just that quick, right? You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine something more serious, falling from water in the winter. Ooh, ooh, that'd be serious for sure, right? Let's see here. After you did I thought I was okay when my hands started falling. I was literally jumping out of it now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, because, like, mentally I was, like, able to tough it, but I realized how, like, physically it took me a little bit longer. Right? A little bit longer, right? And stuff like that. That's why I'm just, like, now and just, like, experiencing that. I'm like, yeah. That's why I say take winter seriously, because it really can bite you really fast, right? I mean, and this is all relative to where you are, right? You closer to the equator, more to tropical climate, yeah, less noticeable in the terms of the cold, but certain little things like getting off the ground, maybe insulating, staying dry, those still apply, right? To a certain degree, right? Like a desert environment can drop quite low at night, right? Even though it's blistering hot in the day, right? For example, stuff like that. See, let's see, where am I at? Alright. Oh. I like how I originally said, oh, maybe to the bottom of the hour. I'm like, way past the bottom of the hour, right? I'm like 7 minutes after past. I'll go for a little bit longer. Not that much longer, though. Oh yes, that's it. It's because the freezing you don't notice it because it's like because like you don't feel but the sensations from the nerves, right? That sensation of touch, right? Because your hand's frozen or cold, right? However, it's the falling that hurts really bad at times. I mean, like sometimes it can be painful for some people. Experienced it on my phone before, right? I've seen someone experience it on their face, all right. And the thing is, it wasn't even that long. I mean, yeah, it was much colder out than minus what 27 Celsius or so, right? But it just showed more and more that like, the specifically the frostbite or the falling out that happens because of it when you return to a warmer environment, where you start to notice that, and it's like it hurts. It's crazy, like our fire horse said, yeah. Well, Nick, you need a radiant source of heat, right? Like Nick, I'll say one thing. I mean, in Iron Fire Horse, I mean, like, I've had my hand cold before. I would put it underneath my armpit, right? Or put it in my jacket underneath my armpit to warm it up. Yes, it's gonna cool my core down slightly because, I'm putting a cold hand in my core. But I need to warm up my hand, right? So I can actually, like, do something, right? You know what I mean? Like, Nick, you said fire, right? Imagine my hand's so cold I can't even use a lighter, let alone a ferrocerium rod or matches, right? I need to warm up my hand to get the dexterity back in my hand, right? I can wheel it, wheel, not wield, but will it, yeah, will it, but to some still a certain degree, right? I mean, I tried tying random knots in the winter before in -37. That's a challenge too. Yeah, that too, right? It really showed like this how difficult it can be. Cold, you lose dexterity, right? I mean, I can imagine if I can do that pink where you're trying to touch your pinky and your thumb together on the same hand, right? Yeah, I think in that video I did show I was doing it, but I had to will myself a little bit more to doing it. It's just slightly more difficult than compared to right now where I'm inside and my hands are nice and warm. You threw your lighter by accident. Hands were messed up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. It starts to get stiff, right? It's harder, right? Because literally, it's not just your skin starting to freeze. It's starting that underneath the muscle or whatever, right? And it's very hard to move, right? Hence, you try to keep moving, squeeze your hand, whatever, move your toes, move your hands, right? Stuff like that. That's why ever so often you'll see people just start pacing or whatever if it's cold, right? Because it's just like trying to warm up their feet, right? Because, like, if you're standing in line outside for whatever reason in the wintertime, right? People are standing around. Like, let's say for an event or whatever, right? Or something important, or they have to wait in line, right? Lots of people, hundreds of people, right? First come, first serve, but it's in the winter, right? People have to wait inside outside because there's not enough room for everyone to wait inside to make an appointment, those kind of things, right? And like you'll see people start to pace or move a little bit or whatever because their feet are getting cold too, right? Because yeah, you're moving your body. Yeah, you're wearing a jacket, right? In these temperatures, like these things that I see, like no one's not wearing a jacket, right? Some people are wearing layers to a certain degree, right? If it's you know just to be adequate enough, right? But stuff like feet, face, hands, and stuff like that, the extremities, right? Yeah, you gotta keep those warm too, right? Right? Because if your hands start getting cold, well, pretty much it's pulling heat out. It's being um, a conduit for the heat to transfer out, right? Yeah, conduit. Yeah, conduit to transfer out, right? Because now your hands just always cold, right? And when the blood's circling around that cold spot in your hand will warm up, but it will cool down that blood and such, right? So try to keep the extremities warm too, the best that you can for whatever for what you have and the temperature and what you have, right? I get it. You don't know. You might not always have a wool blanket. You might not always have wool this. You might not always have hand warmers. You might not always have a space blanket, all right? But I mean, I've I've used other things before. I've tried some of this stuff before. The paper plastic, crumpling it up, making like dead air space in your jacket. Yeah, I've tried that out before. Right, it can help to a certain degree, especially if those materials are warm, not warm, are dry. Right, if they're wet, that's a little bit different. But I wouldn't put any like a wet piece of paper on the inside in the middle of the winter time of my jacket. Probably not. Right, I want it dry. Right, so. But it's in the same principle to like using leaves to make a bed or something like that if you're bushcrafting or whatever or something like that. Or even for me, not last summer when I actually showed me camping out where I actually because this campsite they actually have to cut the grass, right? So basically I found piles of grass just off to the side, right? And I used that as my insulation to the ground, from the ground, right? Because I was just like, it was like 30, like almost 90 Fahrenheit during the day, right? Warm during the day, right? The first night, and it wasn't just me, right? My friend that I was with, right, in their tent was saying, it's like, hey, CR, yeah, are you gonna chill? It's not that warm, it doesn't feel that warm, right? I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean, right? It didn't exist better days than better days afterwards, right? But like, I'm like, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm kind of glad that I put in that all that grass underneath to make a bedding, or to insulate myself on the ground, right? Because I didn't think I would need it, but like because it's like so warm, it's summer, right? I'm like, yeah, in the winter or spring, maybe I'd be for no brainer, but I'm like, maybe I don't need this, and I'm like, maybe I do still, maybe I do still, you know maybe this is how I can understand or relate into like how they say in a desert environment or whatever it can be blistering hot during the day but really really chilly at night, right? I'm like maybe I can understand that to a certain degree. I mean, we were by a body of water too, so there might have been some what they call lakeside effect of conditions, right? Because a large body of water can cool down or warm up, whatever, right? He danced and sing the hook. She's doing the hokey pokey and dun 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 dun, but not on video though. Smiley, laugh out loud face. So yes, I think I'll go till 15 more minutes. Top of the hour. Top of the hour. So 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. All right. Tidied this up, right? I felt like I've been giving the cold shoulder to him because that's like literally like the last 45 minutes. That's all I've been talking about. But like literally, maybe I'll do another stream where I specifically talk about even more with an actual title that says it. Maybe I'll have some people join me or join the panel or something like that. Like I said, and because Nick and Iron Farmers were joining in when I said it probably, but I am planning. Well, you'll notice, especially if I schedule it, many more streams next month because I have more time. And to make up for this month because I only did one stream this month. And I'm pretty sure it's only going to be one stream this month because it's like Halloween. I don't see myself streaming this evening. Well, you better get cracking there. All right. But yes, I'll go for a little bit longer. It's already like 46 after. I'll go for a little bit longer. Let's see, depending on how I feel. But yeah, this is why, like I said, this is why I have certain little things like that because it's helped me out. Right, literally right now. The seating pad. is useful. I've actually I've actually suggested this because they actually saw the video, right? To someone without a permanent residence, you know, someone on the street, that kind of thing, right? Because I've seen them feel cold, right? And like they don't usually get snow there because they live more south than I do, but it's still possible, and it can get close to the freezing point or below freezing, right? And I told them, I'm like, this is why I showed it in that video where I'm sitting on the snow in the middle of the summer with it. Oh yeah, because I do it all the time now. Right? Like literally, like people like walk by, and they're like, I'm sitting on the snow, right? Like a kid with ski pants, right? Because if you think about it like that, it's almost very similar, like and stuff like that, right? But I was able to sit on like snow with just a single layer of pants, right? You know, and still relatively feel warm. That's the insulation, right? And stuff like that. Because Mother Nature didn't give me a bunch of like fat on me, a bunch of blubber on me, right? Like a seal. So I gotta like get something on me or put something on me to add to that insulation to hold back the heat. All right. Like I kind of one of these days it would be really cool to get something like that's supposed to be really good, right? Like reindeer or so. Is it reindeer? No, I think it's caribou. One of the two. Right, where the hairs on their fur are like hollow, right? So they trap air too, right? And you would put that on the inside, right? Something like that, right? Well, till then, until I have access to that, I'll have to use this, right? Use what I have, right? As much as possible. Hey, skinny. I just like I should. Really, Nick? I thought it was kind of like being cold hearted here. Talking about all this cold stuff. Nick's like, I feel cold. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. So, yeah. I like right now. I even have it on right now. Like I'm not sitting on it. It's actually next to my chest. And you're like, you'll start to. You'll start to. I'll start to warm up the layers in it. All right. Start to warm up that space. All right. And stuff like that. Because actually, I have to go back outside and take care of something outside. So I'm gonna warm up the layer. Actually, maybe I'll sit on it too. Maybe I'll sit on it and just actually contact to it. But yeah. Who you calling skinny? Who you calling skinny, CR? You take that back, dude. You take it back. No. Yeah. 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 I'm just skinny. I was okay. Never mind. I was trying to come up with something funny, relatable, but that totally didn't make sense. Now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that didn't make sense. I was trying to come up with an alliteration, right? Right. Multiple words or multiple words in the same whatever you're saying that have the same starting letter. I think that's how it goes with alliteration, right? So like A's or whatever, right? Or super silly, or Peter Piper. No, that's alliteration, right? So, like, I was trying to come up with something really clever. I was just like skinny something, right? I'm like, I couldn't say slim. Someone else is known by that. All right. Oh, okay, Iron Fires. Dang, girl. Like, you don't have to yell it at me. You don't have to yell it at me. I get the point. I get the point now. I get the point. Iron Fire Horse. I'm gonna send you a memo that says I'm making a stream about being skinny, and she'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'll join." It might be kind of thin on the topic. It might be kind of thin on what I'm talking about, but you know. but surely everyone can fit through it, fit inside. I don't know. Okay, no, okay. I think I'm pulling way too many strings here. Yeah, I'm just trying to get like wear down the time for this next 8 minutes here, like until like the top of the hour. I'll be there, yeah. All right. Like I said, I didn't have a topic for this. Like I'm sure, this is people have. I remember I was entering into this gardening channel, right? They're like, I want to get the watch time. I still have another half an hour. I don't know what to talk about. And I just told them like, just talk about sunflowers for half an hour. They put it on the screen, like, highlighted it, pinned it on the comment or whatever. I'm like, yeah, right. Just talk about something like that, right? Like, I'm like, surely a gardener can talk about like something like a sunflower for half an hour. And just kind of get some conversation going in between, like reading the chat and hopefully coming up with something else to say again, so it's not a bunch of, silent air for the next like 10 minutes where all you hear is like crickets. You know what I mean? It's like I hear crickets. That kind of metaphor. Yeah. Oh, okay, Iron Fire. So yeah, I got you thinking, alright. Thinking? Thinking? Hey, I could be Finn King. I could be Finn King. Who are you? I'm the Finn King. Sorry. Sorry, I was watching like something else earlier. And it just reminded me of that. Sorry. I was watching Hawkeye the other day. It just reminds me of that now. Yeah. Hey, I'm first. That's what I should say now. I'll be like, I'm the thinking. What? They're like, what? Thinking? No, Finn King. You thinking? You're thinking dinner? No, yeah, I'm thinking of being the thinking. Thinking. I can't even like if you think you can't even say it because it sounds exactly the same, right? Thinking versus thinking. I think you have to pronounce that ing or k more elaborate, more thinking. Yeah. You see how I said it, right? I swore that's all I could. Tonight I'm just like, hey, CR, what are you drinking? What are you dressed up as? You got a crown on you. You some sort of king? Yeah, I'm the Fing King. I didn't do that. And people will be like, what the hell is this guy doing? I'd be like, I was talking to some people earlier in the morning and yeah, it just kind of came up. I just say it. Ow! Oh no, she didn't. Oh yeah, she just did. Oh yeah, she just did. Yeah. Alright, fire horse. Silly lady. Well, you know what? I managed to wear down like 10 minutes time. I only got 4 minutes, so almost down to the 2-minute warning for the stream. A couple laughs at the end here. So if you're watching this at the end here on my stream or like catching this on the replay, well, let's just say you've been thinking ahead, literally and metaphorically. Hey, Iron Fire Horse, you should message me over on IG one of these days. Maybe we can chat. I don't mind chatting backstage with some of you guys every so often. Get to know some people outside of live stream or outside of YouTube or specifically, that environment, right? Yeah, I'm first. Yeah. That'd be nice. Very nice. Maybe I can get someone else to join as Iron Fire Horseman. Ran away. Right? Good old times, good old times, good old times, good old times. I swear the next time I do join a panel or whatever, I'm just done like instead of having my name, channel name in there or CR, I'd be like, I'm just done right. Quote, think, king, quote, end quote. That'll be my new like I'm gonna start a second channel, guys. Called that. Oh, just imagine. It's like some weird Where Waldo with what a skinny Where's Waldo that has a crown or something like that. Oh, that might be a royal pain to do a second channel like that though. Just saying. So, I'm putting my device here. Wait, charge some more here. Oh yeah, my ceiling pan's working out too. I'm gonna put on my jacket here because I gotta slide outside for briefly to take care of something. And first, you came up with it first. You came up with it first. You said you're skinny or something like that. She came up with it. It was never my idea. She came up with it. She secretly messaged me to tell you guys that. I mean, to say she came up with it. She came up with it. She messaged me and all that stuff. I claim no responsibility or anything along the lines of that or whatever. Any coincidence with anything else is just purely coincidental. That stuff. I haven't seen her Iron Fireworks. I have not seen her. Well, I haven't done the stream all month, except for now, right? I know she's come by, not the specifically last video for me, but the second last one, the one before it, where I showed something else for me, and like I'm gonna stretch this out a little bit, okay, more extra minutes. I want to remind everyone today's video. You'll see later on in about 4 or 5 hours, 4 hours from now. I have a short form content available in about 5 hours from now. It is definitely related to Halloween. However, there is to a certain degree, a preparedness message in there too. I know, right? Halloween and preparedness, I'm actually like trying to put it together randomly, because it's the message that's more important. Right, it's the message that's more important. I have actually said the message before a long time ago, but yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Right, it's just something to kind of finish off this month and all that stuff. And I needed content for today, right? And I didn't want to put out anything else at the moment, right? Because it would get overshadowed, like literally overshadowed by like Halloween, right? That's like kind of like today, right? Kind of deal, right? So I'll mostly definitely look. Yeah, she works too. Yes. So like, okay, now I'm gonna give a 1 minute warning. We'll do warning. I was gonna say warming. Warning. There's no N. There's an N in there. There's no N. So, everyone, go out there. Enjoy the day, right? Do whatever you do on Halloween, whatever it is, that kind of thing, alright? You're watching a scary movie, some zombie flick, you're going out with the kids, whatever, you're going out to a party, you're going out to get together, you're going out or whatever, or you're just going out for a walk in the afternoon, whatever it is, right? Or you're getting off work, or doing all this other stuff, or you're gonna clean your place, or you're gonna look after your place, or you're gonna do all this other stuff, Keep doing the things out there, like other people have said, right? Keep doing the things, right? As much as possible. Oh, yeah. See how I just managed to get him back in, guys? Look at that. I just had to mention it. He's like, Yeah, I'm still here, dude. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still listening, man. So go out there. What, as Shadow would say at times, right? And I'll add what I usually say, right? Be part of the solution, not the problem. What else does he say? Stay safe. Let's see, what else does he say? He says other things that are awesome too, indeed. And things are changing out there, right? Not just the season, but other things out there. But we're gonna do something about it too, right? The best that we can. Adapt too, right? And prepare in advance. Try to learn some more. I should say, trying to apply that skill and knowledge the best that you can and gain some more experience with it. And when possible, try to help someone out and stay warm out there. Enjoy the day. And I will catch you next month in November with a bunch of live streams about something. And that's all I got. Okay, take care, everyone. Later. Oh, that was fun.